Do you remember a time when train travel in Lagos, Nigeria was characterized by people packed together in awful conditions? The new 27-kilometer long Lagos Red Line offers a critical lifeline to travelers in the city. Here is my experience on the newly launched service. Welcome to the Yaba Red Line train station. Building anything in Lagos is easier said than done because of space constrictions. For that reason, in order to be able to access the different terminals, you need to go to the other side of the road, find a pedestrian bridge, climb it, then cross the entire road before you finally get to the terminal itself. I was running late and I almost lost my mind because I couldn't find the entrance. The Lagos Red Line is 27 km long and it has 8 stations. To go from one end to the other takes 67 minutes. The train arrived on time, but the seating arrangement is a little strange. Apparently, these trains are meant to be temporary until the long-term trains arrive. Future trains will feature a more traditional design for metro cabins. I had to find somewhere to sit as we moved towards Mushin, but I scanned the other cabins to see if I could find a more empty cabin to film. Welcome to the Mushin station. The Lagos Red Line began operations on October 15, 2024, and I made this trip about 5 days after the opening. The experience is new, and when I moved to a new cabin, I realized how empty the train truly was. This was supposed to be peak hours. The train left at 5:20 p.m. and I expected more people on the train, but I did not get to see that and I was a bit confused. Based on what you've seen now, what do you think of a train like this connecting Agbado to Oyingbo? Lagos is Africa's largest metropolitan area, but if you've spent as little as a day in the city, you would know that commuting here is a nightmare. These trains offer a critical lifeline to residents like you and I. Having the newest cars might not be enough if you're stuck in traffic. Every major city needs a metro network. The Lagos Red Line shares the pre-existing railway line operated by the Nigerian Railway Commission, and the Lagos state government had to build new terminals and other supporting infrastructure. Welcome to the infamous Oshodi. For better or for worse, Oshodi is an essential part of the Lagos transport system. I recently dropped a video about the relatively new Lagos Blue Line. Now that the red line is up and running, the blue and red lines are just the first start of the proposed Lagos Metro plan. There are plans for the red line to ultimately connect from Oyingbo towards Marina, where it will connect to the currently existing blue line. And there are also plans to build a green line from Marina to Ikeja. So in a sense, Marina is being envisioned to be the Oshodi of rail transport. Looking out the window, the importance of this rail line became more apparent when I saw people in bumper-to-bumper traffic. The sun was setting while I made this trip, and the reflection of the golden hour was just perfect. Kindly subscribe for more videos like this from across Africa. Thank you as you do so. Ikeja is Lagos's capital, and the most important train station in my opinion on this line is in Ikeja. There are plans for a connection from this point towards the airport. So in the future, if I land in Lagos, take the metro to wherever you're going. Hopefully it happens in our lifetime. But the idea is exciting. It costs 1,500 naira for a one-way trip on this line, and that's a little less than $1 for my non-Nigerian viewers. The train was very new at the time of this video, so it only ran in the morning and evenings during peak hours, but I expect more options in the future, and you might be watching this at the time where it runs every 10 minutes. What do you think about the pricing? It's very cheap but also very expensive, if you know what I mean. Welcome to the Agege Red Line station. It's situated next door from the national Agege station on the Lagos-Ibadan train system. So if you are starting or ending your trip from this station, you might want to not go to the main one and find your way to this one, unless you might miss your train. Please, Lamata, put more signages leading people to the right entrance. While we were parked at the Agege station, a train from Ibadan to Lagos passed us, but because its station was next door, we didn't have to interact or disturb each other. It just goes to show that it's the same line but different operations, and in an ideal world there shouldn't be any issues ever. Once again, I couldn't get over how empty the train was. This is something that if I lived on this line I would use almost daily, and there was almost nobody here. here. Maybe as time goes on, people learn about this, or is it a pricing issue? Who knows? As we moved on this train, I began reminiscing about my youth. I'm sure if you've been in Lagos long enough, you would remember a Lagos where people used to sit on top of trains, people hung from doors and other surfaces. The operations were a mess, they weren't reliable, and it was a genuine health hazard to everybody. People were on the rail line selling. Whenever a train was coming, they would run. It was crazy. The entire line for the Lagos Red Line is now fully fenced, and the only way to access it is through terminals. I did not see anybody walking or doing business on the line, which was a good sign. Iju is the penultimate station on this line, or the second, depending on where you're coming from. This metro network gives me a sense of pride and joy. In a time where there isn't much to be proud or joyful about in our country, this is a silver lining. If you add the red and blue lines, Lagos now has 40 kilometers of metro, but I assert that Lagos would need at least 500 kilometers to build a proper network. The sunset was once again beautiful and I could not get enough of it. You can watch my blue line video after this video. Welcome to the Agbado train station in Ogun State. Many people in this state commute into Lagos daily to work. Exactly 1 hour after I boarded this train in Yaba station, we pulled into the Agbado train station. A similar trip by road can easily take hours. I would be a bad person if I completed this video without giving a shout out to the amazing workers on this line. I plan to return with this train. An employee took me across the platform to where I could tap out, top up my cowrie card, and then tap back in for the return trip. I thought he would expect a tip, but when we got back to the train, I turned back and he vanished. Every employee that saw me was more than willing to help. While taking pictures from one end of the train, something inspirational happened. I got to see a relic from the past. You know how when you Google Nigerian trains, you would see pictures of old locomotive trains with people on top? I saw a train like that pull into the station and I almost shed a tear. I had no idea it still operated, and seeing it packed side by side with the new trains showed me how far we've come. I know I'm beginning to sound like a propagandist for the government. God forbid, I just love trains. I got back on the train for a return trip and it was emptier than when I got in. I doubt if there were up to 10 revenue paying customers on the entire train. Now that we are all alone on this train, what do you think of the experience so far? You can leave a comment about that. It's just you and I won't tell anybody what he said. I truly want to hear more about you because as somebody that uses BRTs every day, I know how important public transport is. The schedule wasn't convenient for me because I had to go to Ogun State in the evening and return back to Lagos at night. I didn't take much videos on this leg of the trip because it was pitch black outside and for most part you wouldn't even know that the train was moving. No references. Before I go, we need to talk about something important. If there's one thing I would love for the Lagos State government to tackle, it's the state of the environment. There is no easy way to put this, but Lagos smells. Oh my god, we are killing ourselves with dirt. I had to delete minutes worth of footage of the road outside the rail because it was littered with piles of dirt for almost the entire length of the 27 kilometers. We need to do better. I was tired as we approached the Oshodi station. I mentally prepared myself to pass through Oshodi at night. This is not something I would do under normal circumstances, so please give this video a like. As I prepared to get down, another nice employee came out and offered to help me. I was once again surprised by the warmness. Lagos forces you to be on guard at all times, but these employees renewed my faith. Nothing I say in the next few minutes will beat listening to the roar of this machine as it pulls out of the station. Just listen. If you are still here, thank you very much and please subscribe. Until the next video, your YouTube friend from the Okodo channel wishes you love, peace and prosperity. I finally walked up the stairs to the Oshodi Transport Interchange Terminal 3. It was nice being able to film in this protected area in the heart of Oshodi. I never imagined I'll be comfortable doing this at 8 p.m. or any time for that matter. What a time to be alive. You won't believe it. I once again met a nice employee that helped me as I tried to tap out, making my experience even better. I don't know where they're getting these professionals from, but they need to keep getting them.